to boost the morale of troops fighting banditry there. And joining us for more updates is the spokesman to the governor of Zamfara State, Suleiman Idris. Good to have you join us. The Minister of Defense visited today, and he emphatically told troops to get him, Turji. How much of a morale booster is that?
Thank you for having me. Well, the visit by the Minister of Defense will serve as a moral booster to the troops in Zamfara State, despite the fact that the troops have been recording a lot of successes in recent times in the fight against banditry in the state. So the visit by the minister will really boost the morale of the troops in the state, and it will create more rooms for synergy between the state government and the federal government, especially the Ministry of Defense.
All right. And only recently, notorious bandit leader Bello Turji was calling for negotiation with government. Is that something Zamfara State government is considering?
No, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Zamfara State, have been clear at any given time that his government is not willing to negotiate with the bandits in Zamfara State. And it's not just Zamfara State, even His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, shared the same conviction with the Governor of Zamfara State that there is no negotiation with bandits. Katsina State and Zamfara State are not willing and are not ready to negotiate with the bandits at the point of weakness. So there is no, we are not considering any negotiation with bandits. We are cooperating with the Ministry of Defense to make sure that we continue fighting the bandits in the state.
All right. And the All Progressives Congress in Zamfara State has actually called on the federal government to declare a state of emergency in Zamfara State, considering the lingering security challenges. Do you agree with this position?
You know, they are confused opposition. I think they are still in a severe pain of losing election. That is the reason why they are calling for the declaration of state of emergency in Zamfara State. It is a fact, not a myth, that we are recording positive success in the fight against banditry in the state. Since the inception of this administration, I think there are over 50 gang leaders that were neutralized. Among them is the head of the bandits in Zamfara State, Habibu Sububu, who was neutralized some few weeks ago, last month. So the appeal for the declaration of state of emergency in Zamfara State by the APC is uncalled for, and it's ridiculous for them to call for the declaration of state of emergency in the state.
All right, Mr. Idris, thank you so much for talking to us at this time. Spokesman to the governor of Zamfara State, Suleiman Idris, thank you for your time on TVC News at 10.
Thank you.
Let's now return to the developing story about the helicopter that crashed earlier today in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Joining us is aviation editor at Daily Telegraph newspapers, Wale Shadare. Mr. Shadare, we have actually had a reduction in crashes, as it were. But what could have gone wrong in this particular case, and what do we now need to do to ensure we do not repeat this experience? Mr. Shadare, I am talking about the helicopter that crashed earlier today, the fact that in recent time we have not recorded something like this. So what could have happened? What could have gone wrong in this case? And what are we supposed to do as a country to prevent recurrence?
Yes, when you have an accident like this, it's very, very premature to begin to hazard a guess on what has actually happened because the investigation will unravel what has happened. At this moment, it is very, very early to begin to hazard a guess on what could have happened. 8 people lost their lives. and the National Safety Investigation Bureau has, begun investigation into that. That is the only thing we can say at this moment. Like I said, nobody knows what has happened until investigation unravels that, and that is what to do professionally.
All right, but let's talk about maintaining standards and preventing recurrence. What must we now do as a people? What have we been doing that is okay, that we need to improve on?
No. Each time we have an accident, it actually does not call for the probe of the entire system. Like I said, accidents even happen when you do the right thing, and we should allow the NSIB to do its job. The aviation industry in Nigeria is very, very safe. Our industry is very, very safe. And for a very long time, this industry has recorded no zero accident. But when it comes to helicopter operation, we know the way helicopters are operated in those oil areas. So, like I said, it's still very, very early for us to know exactly what has happened. But this accident does not in any way impugn on the integrity of the aviation industry in Nigeria. The aviation industry in Nigeria is very safe. Our airspace is very, very safe. And we need to be patient and wait for investigation to unravel what has happened. And our condolences to the families of people who have lost members of family who have lost their lives in this accident. So it does not in any way show that the aviation industry is not safe in Nigeria. So we need to wait. We need to wait for investigation before we can begin to say exactly this is what has happened. The accident happened today. Nobody will sit down to tell you that this is exactly the cause of the accident.
Aviation editor, Daily Telegraph, Wole Shadari, thank you for talking to us on TVC News at 10.
Thank you for having me.
Moving on from there, President Bola Tinubu has reassured the public that past mistakes such as neglecting livestock farming and relying on dairy imports will be avoided. He pledged a robust framework to stimulate prosperity in the sector, instilling confidence in his commitment. The president said this when he opened a two-day consultative workshop on livestock reforms on Thursday at the State House Conference Center and pledged government support in revamping and repositioning the sector to create employment and attract foreign direct investment. Government data reveals that more than 60% of dairy products consumed in Nigeria are imported, and this costs between $1.2 to $1.5 billion annually. But this is what President Bola Tinubu seeks to change through the implementation of the Presidential Livestock Reform Program.